that whole seduction scene, I call it the seduction of Sabine, is so beautiful. I loved it. It was like, oh, okay, wait. This has merit. And he tells her, come with me willingly. And so I was just like, ooh, she has to make a choice, and she's making that choice on her own. He's not forcing her. And so it's like, it just made her character also seem even more interesting in that one exchange. So I did love that part. But I mean, it's a small piece of the cake.
That scene, the seduction of Sabine, as Retro calls it, that's a captivity bargain. It is. So in heroine-centric stories, and this could happen outside of heroine-centric stories, but the heroine is asked to voluntarily go into captivity. That it's a classic trope in heroine-centric stories, and that scene works, I think, because of the archetypal resonance. And I, like you just pointed out, willingly, he specifically said, we're not going to force you. He actually, it's a great scene because I thought it was kind of funny where she holds the ball hostage. Ahsoka's like, do it, and she's like, I'm going to get this thing, and I'm like, oh, come on, come on.
Yes.
It was something similar, but not that. But it's interesting. He like looks up and like uses the Force. He makes a cold read on her, and I heard from somewhere it's a dark side power of reading, getting an impression of what you want or something. And he takes his lightsaber off. He turns it off.
Yeah.
And he approaches her, so he is not approaching her in a threatening manner. To your point, Retro, I was like, oh, interesting. Like that's got some nuance to it.
Yeah.
He's actually. I'm like, okay, so now it's up to the writers. You have to convince us that he can do this non-violently. And I thought they did. It's a captivity bargain. He's like, come with me. He's like, we have a common goal to go to this galaxy. Why don't we work together and follow me? I can do what your mentor won't do. Even if we don't trust each other, we're at least momentary allies.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, she's in handcuffs. So I was like, oh man, that's a perfect captivity bargain. For this heroine, Sabine, who I thought had been very poorly written until episode. There's some parts in episode 3 I didn't mind. Some. And then I thought she was a little bit more interesting in this sequence at the end of episode 4.
Yeah, she hasn't been this is the most interesting she's ever been.